Hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Original Sports Podcast this evening. We are very excited for our guest tonight. Hopefully he makes it. He's on the West Coast, and you just never know what's going on out there. But honestly, I'm a baseball guy, but hate the state of today's game. There's no doubt in my mind. Our guest today had an astonishing career pitching for the Chicago White Sox. That's not the only talent he's blessed with, though. His music is also at a high level, and that he is also very passionate about. Jack McDowell will share with us stories about his years in the major leagues, thoughts on today's game, and what inspires him to be a songwriter. So sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's show, and let's hope that Jack is able to join us.
National Streaming Sports is brought to you in part by BetUs.com, designed for true fans. NFL odds, Week 1 and futures, college football odds, including Heisman Trophy favorites and playoff odds, NBA odds of division winners and playoffs, Major League Baseball playoff and World Series odds, the National Hockey League Conference playoffs and Stanley Cup odds, and boxing wagers. Betting opportunities include versus the spreads and outright winners, also during the game. Use our link on our website, nessp.info, the Bet Us Opportunities webpage, for a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. Must be 21 years old, and remember, bet responsibly.
You're going to call anyone that loves you. You're going to ask them if you can use their card to buy concert tickets because your card's maxed out. Okay. If they say yes, you get the tickets.
I can't call my parents because they already think I make bad financial decisions. Well, so I think I'll call one of my friends.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous. I feel tingly.
What's your not answer?
Giovanna?
Yes.
I was on SeatGeek earlier and I saw 2 tickets for Olivia Rodrigo at a really, really, really good price. So
Oh my god.
I maxed my credit card out by accident last week. Do you think I could use yours to buy the tickets?
Oh my god, yes.
Did I?
Yeah, you got the tickets. You got the tickets.
I just want tickets. We're going to go to the concert together. Giovanna, I'll call you later. Love you. Thanks for picking up. Oh my god. I'm going to see Olivia Rodrigo.
Yes, thank you, SeatGeek.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, it's time to experience the O's on the Original Sports Podcast.
What's going on, fellas? Good to see you tonight. We're headed down the home stretch here of shows for season 5. I think we only got like 3 more to go. If you didn't catch us on Terrible Talk, we had an awesome chat about the Pittsburgh Steelers and where we think they're headed with their draft this year. Before we go any further, though, if you're a local Frederick, Maryland resident listening to the show, I've got a pair of tickets available to the first person who emails me at originalsportspodcast@gmail.com for this Saturday's Eggs and Eggs at Rockwell Brewery. It starts at 10 a.m., and Billy and the Curly Brothers will be there playing live music. What better way to kick off a St. Patrick's Day week than with Rockwell, some free tickets, and music? I know, 10 a.m., I get it, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right, fellas?
That's right. Drink up.
Yeah.
Be responsible. Be responsible.
Yeah, call that Lyft, call that Uber.
That's right.
If my son didn't have a baseball game Saturday, I would probably be in attendance, but my son does. So I'd probably be home by like 2 and asleep by like 2:10.
Wow. Sheesh.
Chops, you ever day drink?
Not on Steeler Sunday, but I do because I need to have my faculties for I could. But on college Saturdays, yeah. College Saturdays, yeah, man. And I believe it or not, I used to do it back. Even in college days before whatever. Big East hoops.
Wow.
After football season and Big East hoops, yeah, man. It was.
I miss Big East basketball. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Yeah, man. It was.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I miss
the crazy
Big
part
East
about it is think about this, fellas. When you talk about Big East hoops, Rolly Massimino, John Thompson, right?
Jim
PJ
Boeheim.
Carlissimo, Boeheim. Those are just
Oh, don't leave out Lou Carnesecca now.
Lou with the crazy sweaters, right? And fellas, those were coaches. Those were the coaches.
Yep.
That's not even talking about the star players. Those were the coaches. You know what I mean?
I was reading something today about one of his teams. It was, I forget what year it was. They were 31-4. They were first. They were they had a first round. They were number 1 seed. They had Walter. They had the Wizard, Walt Williams, I believe is his name, from they had him, Chris Mullen.
Oh yeah.
Mark Jackson was a backup.
Walt Williams went to Maryland.
Okay, so then it was Walt Berry. Walt Berry, that's what it was. Walt Berry. Now,
yeah, man.
My favorite guy was Pearl Washington.
Earl to Pearl.
Yeah. Pearl could ball out, fellas.
Was it Earl to Pearl chops?
Yeah, or Pearl Washington.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, when I honestly, whether like you said, Chris Mullen, that could shoot from any when they say what's his range in the gym, he just had to be in the gym. Chris Mullen, of course, you have Patrick Ewing. There was so many Derek Coleman for series. There were so many guys that I loved it. I mean, I loved
Ronnie Cycling.
Oh,
yes, yeah.
I hated it.
It was just different, man. I loved Big East hoops. I did. Big East hoops were.
Georgetown was legit. Under John Thompson Sr. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man. Yeah. And when you're sitting there and you're looking at, like I said, those legendary coaches, Rolly Massimino and his squad, you know what I mean? And it just when Rolly Massimino and his squad beat Georgetown for the national championship, that's Big East versus Big East. Yep. What was his name? What was the guy's name? That little point guard.
From where?
Who from Rolly Mass and his squad.
McLean?
Yes, that was it. When he ended up coming out years later, talking about we were hopped up on cocaine.
He's on cocaine.
Yeah, man. That was It was I used to love. You couldn't tell Jerome, throw it down, Jerome. Come on, man. I just loved. And even though Pitt, and it's kind of weird because Pittsburgh teams were never flashy. Even when you go back to We Are Family, right? And they're winning the World Series. They weren't a flashy team, but they were a team. They were a unit. They played hard, whether it was the Pens, whether it was the Pirates, whether it was the Steelers. They've never had flashy teams, but it just Steel City, Jack.
Those Big East teams, Pitt had a great class. They had Charles Smith, Jerome Lane. Who else came in with that class? If I'm not mistaken, Curtis Aiken.
Oh, man.
Curtis Aiken still does. Curtis Aiken still does Pitt basketball with Bill Hillgrove. Hillgrove's got to be 80 years old.
He's 84.
He's 84.
I was looking at his best calls on YouTube a couple nights ago. I just love his voice. And I love his call. I mean,
is he legendary? Is he legendary like Myron Cope and like the late Mike Lang?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with you. I said when somebody was putting something out after Mike Lang passed away, I said Bill Hillgrove got to be in that group as well. He's been there for a long, long time. I do like watching today's college basketball. I'm enamored, fellas. I'm not a big fan of this team normally, but I'm enamored with Duke. They've captivated me.
Here, Duke is always up there. That's why I can't say I'm enamored with them, because they're always up there. And you know the crazy part about it, I hate to do this. If you give me the top 5 white boys in the country, 2 of them are always at Duke. And your boy, seriously, what's his name? Clegg?
Cooper
Flagg. Yo, he's nice, but they got another freshman on that team, white boy, who's just as nice and may not be getting his shine because of Flagg, but he's nice too. So Duke is always doing it, man.
Did you know that they're 17-0 at Cameron this year? They're 17-0.
I can believe it because the ACC is not that great.
So yeah, but Cameron always was a different place to play, big dog. Remember when Duke, North Carolina meant something?
Right.
Those guys, you're going into Cameron crazies. That used to mean something. Even when Krzyzewski was there for years, going into Cameron was rough. Because there was it's almost like you can stick your arm out and touch the people in the third row. I mean, that's how close they felt to the court. That's how close they felt to the court. I couldn't imagine. You have at college playoffs and football in a championship game, and those stadiums get loud. But I wonder what it would be like in the Final Four, big game like that, especially if you're a home team or the away team at a facility like that, and the fans are that close. What is that atmosphere like to play? That's what That's what I'd like to.
I believe Pitt won down there last year. Was it last year they won, or the year before they won?
Yeah. But because you play football, even hockey, even baseball, some of those fans are so far away you can yell whatever. They can't hear you.
No.
But in hoops, they hear.
Yeah, they right on the court.
I'll tell you two places that you can: WVU and Notre Dame. They right there.
Yeah.
Syracuse is right. They right there too.
In the Carrier Dome?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know why. I've never liked the Carrier Dome.
Me neither.
It's never
weird.
liked
Oh no, I didn't care about it for football, but basketball, that was a weird dynamic.
Yeah. For basketball, but for football, we've seen other indoor teams. I just don't know why. Just home games at the Carrier Dome for Syracuse. I'm not a fan. I just don't like them. I don't know why. It's odd, man.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, we're waiting for Jack McDowell to join us. Jack's out in California, and I think he's got a little hung up. I sent him a message to make sure everything's okay. If we don't have him today, fellas, I guarantee you we'll have Jack on another time real soon because he was pretty hyped up to join us. But, he's got other responsibilities besides joining. I don't know why, but he's got from joining the OSP with the Barbershop guys. Our crew should come one, but, that's life sometimes. But back to college basketball, though. On Saturday, I get this text. Chops will appreciate this one. Brian Carcado.
Wow.
Out of the blue. He's down in Bowie, and he says, hey, I'm getting some tickets. My son loves college basketball. His son's probably 7, 8 years old. He says, my son loves college basketball. I'm going to go down the game. He says, $25 to sit at a Georgetown game. Is that a pretty good seat? I said, $39 has you almost on the floor, buddy. Wow. It does.
Carcado.
Yeah. Can you imagine though? Georgetown game, only $39 to sit down on the floor that close.
That's cool.
But that's where, because they don't, and I say a lot of fans, they don't get what Georgetown's not what it used to be. But that used to be a hot Lonzo, the guys they've had come through the year. That to me, man, there's been other schools that have fallen off, but man, what Georgetown used to be. You go to Georgetown, and I used to love Georgetown because they played that tough man-to-man. I love that tough man-to-man D the whole way. Mark,
Iverson,
Bubba Chuck. Mark, you had mentioned something earlier, right? About if Bill Hillgrove had reached like the status of some other cats, right?
Yeah.
Think about this because you like baseball, whatever. Whether it's the Joe Buck Sr., whether it was, the voice of the Lakers, Stern.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it was Harry Carey. Who's the next guy coming up like that in any sport? The voice of what team? You know what I mean? And even though go ahead.
It might be Jack Buck. I like listening to him. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I don't mind him.
And we got a vice versa. It is Joe Buck now. Jack Buck was his dad.
Okay, yeah. Joe Buck.
Is he on Sunday Night Baseball?
He does a lot of football, but he does this. Yeah.
But he's also doing. I
don't like him. I know who you're talking about.
He's with Aikman.
Yeah,
and I think they do a decent job.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I know people don't like Buck. He hasn't really given me anything not to like. I get why people don't like Chris Collinsworth, but like Harry Carey, you know what I mean? But Harry Carey was that voice of the Cubs when he started to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." You know what I mean? Or you had, like I said, Jack Buck and his voice as soon as he came on, and Joe Buck maybe because he's not old enough. But it just doesn't carry the same respect as his dad did. People just don't look at him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's Chick Hearn, the way he was the voice of the Lakers. I didn't even like the Lakers, but when he was on, the Lakers
Chick
are playing.
Legit though.
You know what I mean? And you just don't have that anymore. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. And I wonder.
I think part of that is because guys are willing to bounce around more. I just think, to me, fellas, professional sports today. As much as I love sports, we all love sports, any kind of sport. I think it's gotten so money driven, that like guys will just bounce to another team to be an announcer. Guys bounce to other teams because they want more money. They don't care about championships. They don't have any loyalty to the team that they're playing on anymore. Like, we've lost sight of that. And now also things like the All-Star game. One of the reasons I think the All-Star game used to be so successful is because you didn't see those guys all the time.
And they competed.
Well, they not only competed, but like you didn't see guys who played on the West Coast if you lived on the East Coast, unless they were on Monday Night Baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you just didn't see them. But now you can get the Major League Baseball package for, I think it's like $130 or $115.
And to me, that's what should grow the game. That sort of stuff should grow the game. But it's not the way it just isn't. But is that because the level of competition is going down? People don't like sports and follow teams like they used to? Or is it because nobody truly appreciates the game anymore?
This is what it's because. Right here.
Yeah.
The phone, the electronics.
I don't want to watch the Dodgers sign everybody and then beat everybody and then pound their chest like they did something. Like,
I agree. 100%.
I always hate that.
But even remember when old Steinbrenner was in the mix. They called the Yankees the evil empire. But even if you were watching to cheer against them or you were watching to see him lose, people still watched. Now you're hearing more. They're just buying championships. It's just different now, man. I hate it. It's just different. And to me, like, of course, I understand a game in June is not the same as October baseball. I get that. But there was still, when top teams were playing on side, fellas, I haven't watched the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball Game of the Week in years. I used to become Sunday night. I was ready, Freddie.
Wow.
Now you just don't see anymore. And also, which bothered for me, I used to like to see those dominant pitchers. Can he get a no-no? Will he go deep into it? Whatever. Now you have starters that go 5, then you got mid relievers and closers. That come on, man.
It's garbage.
Yeah,
it's garbage. Guys throw a no-hitter, and they've thrown 6 innings, and then they got a guy who comes in and throws 2, and then they got a closer. Oh, you threw a no-hitter. We had a combined no-hitter. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah, I miss when their manager, the coach used to say, I got a feeling. He's 0-18 against this guy. I know, but I got a feeling he's due. You don't get that anymore because guys are all about analytics. You know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say.
That bothers me, man. That bothers me.
I could tell you that your boy Jason Kendall said he expects the Pirates to be in the pennant race. You seen that?
Wait.
Yeah, I saw it.
This year, this spring. If
the season is 45 days long, yes. Yes.
Well, the biggest problem for the Pirates is the fact that
they can pitch.
That's the biggest positive for the Pirates. They can pitch. What's the biggest negative for the Pirates is they didn't spend just a little bit of money. Hey, what's going on, Melvin? Thanks for jumping on, buddy. Appreciate it.
MJ.
The mailman.
They didn't take and spend a little bit of money because they have a guy who, quite frankly, Paul Skeens, guys, we're watching probably, unless he blows his arm out, probably one of the greatest pitchers in generations. This kid just added a 6th pitch to his repertoire, and he's been throwing it. Dudes can't hit it. Like they can't hit it. They can't make contact with it. He is baffling people even more. This guy throws on average 98 miles an hour. And when he needs to gear it up, he easily goes over 102. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, he could blow his arm out tomorrow, but his work regimen, the way he takes care of himself, you're looking at a special guy. That guy's, if you think Ohtani got a contract, this kid in like 4 years, when the Pirates trade him, his contract's going to be astronomical.
That means we won't have him.
No, unless they change ownership in Pittsburgh some way, somehow, he's not going to be there. Your ace will be someone like Jared Jones or Bubba Chandler at that point, and Skeens will be gone. If they don't win in the next 4 years with this rotation, they've really done a disservice to everybody honestly. I mean, we say it year in and year out. We heard Greg Brown say something totally different, understandable as the voice of the Pittsburgh Pirates. But I'll tell you what, they are aligned with this pitching staff. If they had to go into a playoff series, they have three phenomenal pitchers that could mow everybody down, and they could win a playoff series in a blink of an eye.
You hear that, Chops?
You know,
I hear it.
no, the problem is they'd have to win every game 1-0.
Yeah, because no bats.
You know, when you're hanging your hat on a guy like Tommy Pham to be one of your starters.
Bam, bam.
Word on the street is Nutty's going to save some money this year. He's only allowing the players to take one bat, and everybody got to use the same bat. You just got to wait.
just like Little League, huh?
Fellas, I remember going to church and the preacher making a point. We got to be out of here by like 10-1 because it didn't take you much longer than 10 minutes to get home from church. But nowadays they'll sorry, your little kids soccer games, little kids playing this on Sunday. I'm like, they're scheduling kids games on Steelers Sunday. People don't care like they used to.
That's why you got no kids, Chops.
That's why my wife knows not to bother me on Saturday or Sunday football season.
Yeah.
Don't make plans for me. Nope.
Yeah,
I feel you.
Yeah, my wife now says football ruins everything.
It's only one day.
Now we got Monday night football. We got Thursday night football. Thursday night is the night that I'm willing to do something else. Because Sunday night games, depending on who's playing, I might only watch second half.
Thursday and Sundays haven't been very good.
Yeah, no. Friday night games, sometimes, and mostly college, they might have a good one on, so I might know. Saturday, come on, big dog. Come on, there's good ones on. I'll start at noon and you'll go till late.
Because then later in the season on Tuesday, the MAC conference plays.
Yes. And on Sundays, if the Steelers play at 1, we got to be home by 12, or we can go out after 4. It's whatever, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I get the NFL ticket just for the Steeler games. Wasting money just for the Steeler game. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, she helped me out with that this year. Hey, there's that one stretch. I forget when it starts, but it goes 45 days. It went 45 days last year where they had a football game every night. You talk about the Mecca. That's it right there. And that's why football is king.
Yes.
That's exactly why football is king. If you had a soccer match on 45 consecutive days, do you think people would tune in?
Well, no, but I'm definitely not watching Utah versus Louisiana Monroe. I ain't doing that.
Here's the thing, Mark Barber, you bring up a good point. When the cup is on, right, there's a big circle. Everybody, We Are the World USA, and everybody watches men's soccer, female, lady soccer. And you can't go into a city now or a small town now where there's not a soccer team. I don't care. There's a soccer team in every corner, every town now in the USA. So they do it for their kids, right? They will watch it every couple years when it's on the Olympics or whatever it may be. Why don't you think soccer is growing at the high school and collegiate level? And even if it is growing, I'm talking growing to the point where we're seeing it more mainstream on ESPN. I don't know, what day of the week do college play their soccer games? Do you know?
No.
Middle of the week.
It's a slow sport.
It's the whole week. I think they play any day of the week. You can turn on, ESPN 3 or news or whatever, and it might be on like lacrosse. Same thing.
It's a slow sport. I think lacrosse is more has more speed.
Do you realize, fellas, they'll play dog shows on ESPN before they'll play college soccer. You know how mad I'd be if I was a soccer player?
2 days ago, they had Pillow Fight Championship on. I was like, what?
No!
Yeah.
You haven't seen the games?
Who won that this year?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Fellas, hold on. Are you tripping? You guys haven't seen car jiu-jitsu on ESPN?
No.
Where 2 guys, same weight, 2 guys will get in the front seat of a car, and you have to put your seatbelt on.
What?
You're in the driver's seat. Sheen's in the passenger seat. First round, go. I can tap you out, whatever have you. I can lean half of my body out, but I can't lean too much. Then go 3 minutes. Then they'll start. Sheen now gets in the driver's seat. You're in the passenger seat. You can choke them out. And these are real jiu-jitsu tacticians. Fellas, Listen to me. Google it, do whatever. Car jujitsu, and they also have tire wrestling. Where think about when you were kids, and you and your buddies are wrestling around, and the gist is you got to throw these guys in their big big like not even tractor trailer, like earth mover tires. You're wrestling, and if I throw you in the tire, you lose. And I mean, these cats are going at it. There are so many sports on now, fella. You've seen kickball. You've seen wiffle ball. I know, but they've got everything. They've got every. Have you seen them playing? I guess it would equivalent to be ping pong, but they're using a ping pong table with a softball, or not a softball, a soccer ball, and they're kicking it.
Yep.
Yes, I did.
Yep, I've seen that. I've also seen them use a volleyball.
Yes,
do that right there.
Hey,
they don't give a damn about CTE.
Yeah, this I think it's this summer we're gonna have the OSP bocce ball team.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw
the OSP bocce squad.
Here we
come, Mark. You know what I
come, old folks.
Don't forget, where I grew up in a part of Italian neighborhood up the Heights. You know, the interior. When you say the bocce ball, I still look at all those cats. They're sitting there playing. We have no idea what they're doing. They're playing. They got their hustling on the side or outside the Italian club. Man, bocce ball. When I saw that you put the bocce ball.
Little. They got a little, sipping a beer, but more or less sipping Italian.
Yes,
Italian beverage. Maybe a glass of red.
Man.
Can't wait.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Absolutely. We got to get 2 more to play with us, Oshin.
Why?
It's 4. You got to go in with 4.
Do you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just 2.
No, you got to go in with 4. I might be able to talk my daughter into it. Taylor, she played before.
Okay. Yeah, it's fun. I've been out there with them folks. They showed me everything. I said, man, I like this.
It's fun to play. It's very competitive. Yeah. People be getting mad too. They get mad.
Hot as fish grease.
Hey,
hot as fish grease.
You know what I'm down with right now, fellas. I've told you 1,000 times. I'm down with playing disc golf. I'm addicted.
You
94. I've played 90. Oh, not that elbow. The other one is what's hurting me. But I played 94 rounds since last June. The end of last
June. Are you serious?
Yeah, dead serious. I was out Sunday.
How long does a round take? And how many holes? Is it 18?
If you play 18 holes, you and say me, you and Sheen went out. We played 18 holes, and we didn't dump it in the woods that much because that can happen. It would take us about an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half.
Okay. How long is a par 5?
They don't
have par 5.
They don't really have. Par 4s are the biggest ones they have. Those will be about 600 feet.
Okay, 600 feet. Okay. So you're 200 yards. How far? What's that, Sheen?
I can't throw a frisbee that well. I used to.
No. You got to hula
hoop.
Well, it's a skilled throw, fellas.
Yeah.
It's a skilled throw. There's different ways to hold it for throwing different kinds of frisbees. Some people throw forehand. I throw everything backhand because I haven't gotten very good at throwing forehand yet. My goal is to go out. You know how people go out and they chip golf balls? Well, I'm going to go out and I'm going to throw a bunch forehand so I can do that.
How far is your drive on average?
Right now, it's only about 250.
Okay, so when you're now, so that'd be 250 feet.
Yeah, and there's also different types of discs.
Yeah, that I knew. Okay, so let me ask you this: can you on a par 4? Could be a dog leg? Can you see the pin, or you just throwing it because you're not going to make it?
Oh, you're just throwing it, and you're trying to make the disc. You're trying to have it do if it goes to the right, you'd want to do an anhyzer, what's called an anhyzer, and that's making your disc bend to the right, and then you got a hyzer, and you'd be having your disc bend to the left.
Okay. All right. So there is technique on that aspect. You still got to use technique, not just sheer power, just throwing.
No. There's 4 numbers on the front of a disc. The first number is the speed of the disc. It's the speed of the disc, and that's really what I look at. If I'm throwing mid-range, if I'm throwing say 200 feet, I'm going to throw about a 6 or 7 because I'm not good at all yet. I'm not good at all yet. I've been playing this course up near my house, and I've gotten a 1 over. That's the best I've done. Uh,
I got you.
so I've got a long way to go. But then you've got discs. I've got a couple of discs that are 11s, and those are fairway drivers, and I can crank those up.
Okay. All right, Mark, you teach. Sheen, you have daughters, and they're in college. Do kids still? Okay. Do even better. So we got different ages. And Mark, with your children, whatever. Do kids still play like spades or whatever the white? Do they play any of those games? Like, remember when we were in college, we'd have spade, whatever tournament. That was money. That was eating money, so you didn't have to eat the cab, you know what I mean? So we whatever have you. So do they play any of those games anymore, or just
No.
do you know if do they have Madden tournaments, or are they doing different tournaments?
Yes, people do have those, but you can get on those anywhere online.
Okay.
You don't need to have a group of friends. You just find out.
But if you get on, you can just play against anybody. But do they have the Madden tournaments to where?
I don't know about that.
Vincent just played in a college football tournament not too long ago online.
Serious?
Yeah, he loves that.
Yeah, we used to do that. I had a group of friends. We would play. We would all, we would beat a MAC conference because that made every team pretty much even. So you couldn't pick the number one team, and we'd run through the MAC. And then actually I won the MAC the first year. I won the MAC. I had Western Michigan. I won it with
used to. With different tournaments, we would do it this way. Sometimes we have tournaments, or sometimes we're like, all right, here's what we do. When you're ready to pick your team, Barber's picking. Put your head down and just hold it down. So it's scrolling through teams.
Oh, wow.
Soon as you hit stop, that's the team you are. Then your opponent, say Sheen's your opponent. Sheen has to be whoever your division rival is. So hypothetically, you know what I'm saying? So if you pick, you're the Cardinals. Who you can be the Rams, whatever, but you had to be a division rival. And if your team's a 74, you can't be the best team that's a 91. You got to be within 3 or 4 numbers either way. You know what I mean? So and even like you have the Steelers rivals could be the Browns or the Bengals, but it's the Ravens. You know what I mean? There are certain teams that so that's how we used to do it, man. But I used to love those video games. I have not played a video game. I haven't picked up the sticks. Wow. I bet you it's been 7, 8 years, if not longer. I've not even played a game of Madden, nothing.
Wow.
I bet you it's been 7, 8 years. But like I said, I don't have any kids, nothing, man. So I don't even have anybody.
I don't play any video games. The podcasting stuff, it takes up a lot of my time. I mess around with sports cards a lot. I just signed me and Vincent up to do a show. Either May 31st or June 7th, we're going to do a show, which we love doing, and I fellas, you know what's something I got into, and I think I told you that Sheen's already back into it. I got back into vinyl, listening to vinyl.
Oh yeah, that when you start a record, can't beat it, dog. Can't beat it.
Yeah, and that's something, I'll sit here and work on podcast stuff, and I'll just keep putting on album after album after album. Yeah. I go down that rabbit hole.
As much as I like it, I also hate what's happening to music. And when I say what I like, how you have where you can just request songs or whatever, have you go look it up. But I used to love the fact I'm sitting here and I hear a song, I tape a piece of it, and then I'll send it to a friend. And we used to do it all the time. Here's it. You play a song. All right. When you hear this song, what does it make you think of? What female was you trying to holler at, and where were you? Like you'd hear a certain song, like, oh, that's WP Nick's days or whatever, And I was down yes. Or I was down at the O, and I remember this girl in her Guess jeans or something like that.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Her Jordache.
Yes, but you can't. But now,
her Chardons.
Yes, but hearing a throwback song now from the 80s when we were growing up, it's not the same because you can hear it so often on the radio or just, it's not the same as.
I don't really, for me, I don't really listen to anything new. I'm more of a jazz guy, for one. I do a lot of jazz, really.
Acid, smooth. What kind of jazz do you have? My favorite is acid. I like acid jazz.
I like kind of all of them. I go back. I got middle. I got new. I can go back to of course, like Coltrane, Lou Donaldson, Wes Montgomery, Cannonball Adderley. But then I can go Miles, of course. And then I even go Dave Koz, guys like that. So.
You know who I really like, man? And because I only knew of him in hoops, then when he switched to jazz, he was still nice. Wayman Tisdale.
Oh yeah.
I liked, man. When I liked, I liked him.
When
I
life
liked
gets you
him.
down, it's a perfect time for a rebound.
Man, yes.
It's my
Hey,
turn. That's a great song. That is a great
Yeah,
one.
man.
when I
Yeah.
first started teaching down in PG County back in the day, I used to put on jazz. You know, I had CDs. I brought a little CD player in. I played jazz while the kids were doing their independent work. It worked like a charm because I was teaching second grade. It kept
Fellas,
them.
And hold on, Chops. And I'm huge yacht rock. Huge.
Oh, Yacht Rock is nice. Yeah, yes. Yacht Rock is nice.
I'm
Yes,
huge
now
Yacht Rock.
have you listened to the Yacht Rock station, Barber?
No,
Yo,
You're not a
dog,
Yacht Rock
you gotta.
I only a little bit. I haven't gotten into it yet. I've only listened to a little bit of it. I have a cousin out in Kentucky. That's all he talks about. He goes to yacht rock concerts with his wife.
Oh, Yacht Rock is
Yeah.
nice. Okay, let me ask you
So
something.
what exactly am I listening to there when you're telling me yacht rock?
Christopher Cross, Kenny
Yes.
Loggins, Steely
Yes.
Dan,
Oh, okay. I
Orleans,
would be down though.
Ambrosia.
Fellas,
Yeah.
I would be definitely down with that.
Oh, it's lovely. It's like that. It's like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you something, fellas.
Pablo Cruz.
Yes.
Oh, I love Pablo Cruz.
Yes. Yes. Benny Medeiros, all those guys. Yes.
Yes. Benny
So
Madrone.
people-
Gene
Who?
Rafferty.
Oh, Dan Rafferty. What? Like, is we're reminiscing, right? Think about some major things that have happened. Okay, one that comes to mind because I was talking to my boy Merlaki about something we brought up McNair when he was at Alcorn State,
Mm.
which made me think about where I was the day he was murdered when I got the news.
Oh, wow.
I'm driving from up north back down south and get a call. And they were like, I think Steve McNair. What are you talking about, Steve McNair? I like certain where well, I'll go with Steve McNair. Do you remember where you were when you got that news?
No.
I think I was at my apartment, just kind of chilling out.
What about Lenny? Well, were you in Maryland yet, Mark? With Lenny? Where were you?
I was still at home
Okay.
when Lenny
okay.
Bias died.
Okay.
88.
Only thing
Yeah,
I can
you
tell you,
know-
Chops. Only thing I can tell you, Chops, is when Jerome Lane broke the glass, I was listening to it on the radio in my bunk bed.
Are you serious?
Oh,
Dead
shit.
serious. I couldn't believe it. I
Jerome.
was like, I'm sitting here listening, like, what is he talking about? And then I had to watch the
Oh.
news. I had to watch the
Yeah.
news to see it. But yes, I
Yeah.
can tell you that.
Throw it down,
Hey,
Jerome.
I know where I was when I was in the car in Holiday Park when what the hell's his name? Stevie Ray Vaughan was killed in that helicopter crash.
I don't know where I was.
Yeah, I know
man.
where I was for that. I know where I was for the when the shuttle blew up.
Yeah,
I know where I
we
was
were
for
there.
that.
We were off school that day. We were off
You
school
were
that
off
day.
school. I was in college.
Yeah, we were
I
off
was in
school that day.
college. We
I
were chilling
remember-
at the crib.
I remember coming home and my dad sitting in front of the TV, like what was going on, because he used to love 60 Minutes. Now I watch it. I hated 60 Minutes as a kid. but when your boy, sexual healing.
Marvin Gaye.
Oh yeah, Marvin.
When Marvin Gaye was killed, I remember coming home, walking in the house on the Sunday night. I was
I remember that.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that
I
was-
couldn't when they said it was his dad, I couldn't understand at that age.
know.
I couldn't understand. I'm like, why would his dad do that? But yeah,
couldn't understand it. Could not understand it. It
Yeah.
was
How about
Yeah.
Michael Jackson? Where was you when that happened?
I was at the corner of 355 and what's that goes into Germantown at the gas station right there.
Oh,
Right across from
118.
Millsville.
118.
Right across from
I was-
Millsville.
I was at the office, and who does some with us? Nice to be with him, Mike Doc. We're cousins, and he texts me. MJ gone. That's all it said. MJ gone. I was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, it could be Jordan, Jackson.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm
Else-
thinking. MJ gone. What are you talking about? And he hit me back, and people were like, Michael Jackson's gone. Michael Jackson's gone. I remember that. And people talking around the office, Anna Nicole Smith died. Anna Nicole Smith died. I was like, oh, I mean, she lived
did?
a while, right? But yeah.
MJ. Wait, how many MJs are there? I'm trying to think of the Biggie lyrics. All nights I perform like Mike, Jordan, Jackson, action. Okay. this is
yeah.
Pack guns, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he said that, MJ, yeah, there's been certain things, yeah, fellas. And it was, man.
Well, you got to
That
think about
young
that. What about Tupac and Biggie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
That-
at Slippery Rock when Biggie passed.
Yeah.
I was
Oh
visiting,
yeah.
I was visiting my wife. Yep. I was
Man,
Trying to think where I was.
that's crazy.
Tupac.
sports though, man. And it's crazy, fellas, because as we're a sports show, certain things can happen in sports, or you can watch a clip of a great play, whether it was for your team or against your team, or even if you're looking at the fog ball. Remember the Eagles and the Bears.
Yep.
Like you see things like that, and it takes you back. It ports you right back to that time. And
well, that goes back with what we were talking about with Bill Hillgrove, his calls. I mean, that takes you back. I mean,
yeah.
Fellas, I was like 4 or 5. I might have just turned 5 when Clemente died. Yeah. And I remember that I was watching cartoons on TV, and my parents were still sleeping. I was up early, watching cartoons. Yeah. And it came on. I was watching CBS, Channel 2. And they came on and said Roberto Clemente's plane went down. He was lost at sea. I start crying. I went upstairs, woke my parents up. They're like, what happened? What happened? I'm like, Roberto Clemente, he's dead. I'll never forget that.
Okay. So you said you were upset. What was your routine Saturday morning as a kid?
Oh,
I'm not talking about a teenager. I'm not talking about teenager because before then.
Okay.
Cereal and cartoons.
Yeah. I used to get this tray. My mom used to have this little folding tray. It was like metal and the legs folded out and you put your legs underneath it. And I would get up and I would go downstairs and I would put on, like either Bugs Bunny Roadrunner Hour or whatever. And I would eat my cereal and watch that right in front of that TV.
I remember those.
Okay, yeah, because we weren't allowed to use the oven. We weren't allowed to use the oven. We weren't allowed to put
I didn't even think they used the oven.
And that was
didn't have a microwave.
No.
We didn't.
And that was pretty much my routine too. We didn't get a microwave until we got a microwave when I was like 10, 12. My dad was like, you guys can't use this. I'm like, we can't break it, but he wasn't for that. However, when there were certain cereals, we loved whatever. But since I love cereal milk, I would do that. We'd eat cereal, drink the milk, whatever. And my brother and I would go through milk. My brother, even at this age, 50 years old, he still loves cereal.
Yeah, I love cereal.
My dad got hip to my mom buying powdered milk, right? So, yes. So, but she tried to get us on the Flim Flam Floozy, right? The 52 fake out. We drink half the gallon, right? Then she would take the funnel, pour it in, and add water. So we don't know nothing until the next day. So we're like, oh yes, a full carton, a full gallon. Yes, dog. It's ready. You pour a big bowl, and then you taste that, and you think the milk is spoiled. Oh man! And with my dad, there was no wasting. You poured a big bowl, you eat a big bowl. When I tell you that powdered milk was Garbino's, I hate it.
What's the go-to cereal?
So it got to the point that we'd almost like pour a little bit of milk in a spoon and taste it. Yeah, no, it was terrible. I remember times eating cereal with water.
What was your go-to? What was your go-to cereal?
Well, mine, when my dad didn't have a problem, my mom buying it, was Golden Grams. But my dad didn't. My dad, listen to me. And my father will tell you, he'll still say it, live like no one now so you can live like no one later. So my dad was always saving money whenever happy. That's why now, like financially, they'll take 5 or 6 cruises a year, go to destination vacations. They're always traveling. But growing up, my dad was always a penny pincher. So my dad would buy the cereal. If you love Apple Jacks, try Tasty-O's.
Right.
Don't nobody want that. My dad would buy cereal, didn't even come in a box.
You was eating King Vitamin.
Yeah. Oh,
the fake Captain Crunch.
Dude, listen to me. My dad was like, if you like Captain, it was terrible. And if the worst it tastes, that was what he was buying because it was cheap, dog. And my dad didn't eat cereal, so it didn't matter to him.
Right.
It didn't matter to him. And my dad loved fried bologna. To this day,
I do too.
You know damn bologna in front of me. And don't fry it. I'm telling you, no. Because we had to eat beans as a kid, I vow, once I became an adult, have my own house, don't ever cook. I'll eat green beans. Don't cook a damn bean. Not a kidney bean, not a lima bean, not a red chili bean. No.
No lima beans, no black eyed peas?
Well, I'll call black eyed peas. That's because they say peas. I don't look at them as a
Oh
bean.
man, lima beans and cornbread, dude. Are you crazy?
No. I hated Easter.
I love lima beans.
I hated Easter because I knew a few
cornbread.
days after Sunday, my mom was going to take that bone, slow boil it down till the meat fell off, and make
Put the lima beans in there.
No. To this day, if you want me to eat cornbread, you better make that joker sweet. You remember my aunt used to make cornbread and almost make it taste like pound cake to get
Who
me.
that?
Couldn't do it. Even black eyed peas, not black eyed peas, baked beans. My mom used to have to put ground meat in the the pork and beans or baked beans for me to eat them. To this day, I'm not eating baked beans unless there's meat in them.
You like corn in your cornbread? I like whole corn in my cornbread.
What's that?
I like corn in my cornbread.
You know what? Yes, because it'll give it a sweet pop.
Yep.
Yes, because it gives it a sweet pop. Now, if you guys had Famous Dave's cornbread,
Yeah.
because I like it sweet, dog. I like it sweet.
You ever have hot water cornbread?
Yes.
No, never heard of that.
It's fried and deep. It's deep fried. Oof, legendary.
But it's not sweet. It's like Jiffy. I don't want no.
Shane, what was your
Can't
go-to
do it.
cereal?
Captain Crunch.
Yeah, mine too. Mine
Yeah.
too.
Just regular
That and Cocoa
Captain
Puffs.
Crunch with berries.
I like both. I like berries. When you brought that berry, you that was a new thing. That was a new thing. Yes.
I wasn't down with that. I got to a point though where I kind of was like, I just like Count Chocula.
Oh, you can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
Now, if we're going just basic classics, is a basic classic? Believe it or not, fellas, corn pops. I love corn.
How about
pops.
honeycomb?
No.
Yeah. Honeycombs, yeah, big dog. Yeah,
Golden Crisp.
Huh?
Golden Crisp.
What the hell?
Oh, yeah.
Like Diggum Smacks.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no,
Okay.
Diggum Smacks.
Oh, okay.
I hate Diggum.
Is that the
My
shit that
wife-
came in a bag? My
No.
dad used to buy that sometimes.
My wife and I were just
Come
talking
home
about
with a
that.
bag of cereal. I'll be like,
Listen, I just sent you both a recipe for sausage and lentil soup. Yeah,
I
try
don't
that.
need it.
Okay,
I don't need it.
try
My
that.
mom, my dad grew up poor. So there were still things that when he became successful, had a family and making money, he still liked some of those poor thing tastes. Like I said,
Sardines.
fried bologna. My dad would love beef barley soup because barley goes a long way. So you didn't put, he called beef barley soup. He put 3 pieces of little meat in them and he got all 3 pieces. To this day, I'm not eating barley soup. I'm not eating the bean, dog. I'm not doing it. My wife loves chili. I'm like, babe,
Yes,
if you're making a pot of chili,
I got a good
don't
one
put,
for
more
that.
than, don't put more than 1 can of beans in that damn pot of chili. I don't care if she makes it. I don't care if the pot of chili is big enough a toddler can stand in. Don't put more
No,
than 1.
chops.
No.
I don't
you
put
listen.
beans in my chili.
You don't?
No, I put ground beef.
Uh-huh.
I'll put some ground turkey or some ground pork.
Uh-huh.
I'll put some a little bit of sausage, just a little bit of sausage,
Yeah.
and then chunks of meat. Like I'll
Yes.
take beef and I'll put chunks of beef in there, and then I'll add this mix I like to use, and then I'll throw a beer in with that, and then when it gets good and boily, I'll throw some corn chips in there. I soak up some of that stuff.
Picking it up.
Oh, yeah.
I will, and I love whole peel tomatoes. I love
I throw
Marzano
some of that in there too.
Marzano whole peel tomatoes. I love a good whole peel tomato, dog. Yes.
Okay. You like fried tomatoes?
No.
No.
Here's the crazy part about it.
Jesus.
Don't like fried tomatoes.
talk
If
about
you
beef,
take-
it's weird.
If I go to Jersey Mike's or a sub shop, I want extra tomato on my sandwich, but I don't like fried tomatoes and I don't want tomatoes in my salad. A salad is nothing more. A salad is with basically your lettuce, whatever. So like if you have and I put it all, when I go to sandwich, I want extra tomato, but I do not want tomato in my thing. I don't want it. Don't want it in my salad.
I've never had a salad, man. Never.
Never ate salad.
Dude, okay. Does your wife eat them?
Yep.
Okay. Will she make them at the house or she only eat them out since you don't eat them?
Everyone else eats them. Everyone else here eats it.
Okay. I'm gonna drop game, pimp game, right? Next time your wife makes a salad, tell her to put her bowl in the freezer for about 30, 40 minutes before she eats the salad. I I know. You're like, not the bowl you're going to serve it in. So your bowl, take it, put it in the freezer. So when you come out, then put all your salad mixings in there.
Mhm.
It's been about 2-3 years. I am at Longhorn. We're eating at Longhorn, right? And of course, I go for the steak. You know, I'm a meatitarian, so I go for the steak. I get my salad. I'm like, this ain't bad. This is fire. I mean, I love it because the veggies are staying cold and all this, whatever have you. So waitress comes, can I take your plate? Yeah, go ahead and have. I said, man, that salad is really good. Whatever have you. She said, oh, we put our bowls in the cooler so they stay cold to keep everything cold. I'm like, really? From that last 2-3 years, every time I make a salad, that joker goes in. That joker goes in the freezer. I'll leave it in there for 2-3 hours. It don't matter to me. And then I'll bring it out, drop my lettuce, everything in that joker. Yeah, big dog. Yeah, buddy.
I can't believe you don't eat beans. That's crazy.
You don't eat a sandwich.
You don't eat sandwiches.
I know.
Let me ask you a question, Chops. Are you a cream of wheat guy?
No. It looks at me. First,
Grits?
I can eat mashed potatoes.
What about
Don't give me
grits?
no cream of wheat. No. And here's the thing.
Mashed potatoes.
I didn't eat grits
You don't
growing
like
up.
mashed potatoes, Shane?
What?
You know what I
baked
like to do
potatoes.
with mashed potatoes? I like to take mashed
Throw 'em
potatoes
away.
and put corn inside there, put some little chicken on top of it.
You mean like
Maybe.
a KFC bowl, basically?
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
doing
what
that
the-
before KFC came up with it.
Fellas,
They stole
If you
that from
got-
you.
if you got fresh corn, you drop fresh corn, cut it off the cob, whatever, get some fresh corn. Even if you got good frozen fresh corn, you drop some of them kernels in anything, that kick of corn gives it a little
Heck
It gives
yeah.
it it gives
Hey,
a
I'm
little.
looking forward to corn on the cob season and watermelon season. That's
Okay,
what I'm gonna
look
tell
here.
you.
Listen to me. True story. Number one, I do not eat watermelon in public because that's what they expect. So I do not eat watermelon in public.
What?
I don't. However,
What the hell?
I don't know how you cook your corn. I used to boil corn for 30, 45 minutes. That's what I used to
Don't
do.
take that long.
No, now I realize that. Here's what I do. I get a good boil and I'll add sugar and milk to my water.
Yeah.
Let it boil, and I'll even drop some butter in there sometime. I'll let it boil, get that to a rolling boil. I'll drop the corn in. Once it's back to a rolling boil, let it boil for 10 minutes. Then I turn it off. I don't care if that corn sits in there for 2 minutes until I eat it,
I agree
or
with
an
that.
hour and a half before I eat it. Fire. I do it all the time. That's how I make my corn all the time now. Love it. Love it.
What about, are you a bacon person?
Not as much as you guys are. My wife loves bacon. And then, I mean, I like sausage better than bacon.
You ever make $1 million bacon?
Uh-uh.
Oh, what's that?
Look it up.
Well, I ain't looking. What is it? Boy, just tell what's on it.
It's bacon. I can't. I mean, it's just bacon, but it's like it has brown sugar.
So they make it good and sweet.
Yes.
Is it
Oh,
crispy,
okay.
good and crispy?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'll send you the. I got the recipe. I mean, you can look it
Yeah.
up, but yeah.
So I got a recipe kind of like that where I take small chunks of chicken, I wrap the bacon around it, I put it on a skewer, and then I dip it in this dry rub that's sweet that you can get from Black Hog, and then
Right.
I'll bake that sucker off.
See,
Oh my God, it's so good.
I'll eat bacon, but I prefer sausage over bacon and pork chops over ham. And I prefer links
like neither
over
one of
patties.
those.
I prefer links over patties. When I'm talking about sausage,
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
yeah, links over
I don't
patties.
like neither one of those. Which ham? I don't like pork chops or ham. Ugh.
I like them both. If you do them right, when I make ham now, I use a crock pot and I'll put it in there. I'll put it in there slow and low, and I'll put pineapple in there with it, and I'll put brown sugar in there with it.
Well, here's my thing. If my mom does her ham and she'll soak it for 2 days in either a big pot of Pepsi or a big pot of orange juice, I like it. But for years, my dad always wanted the salty country ham, and I think that's why I never liked ham, because I don't like that saltiness in ham.
Oh, I don't either.
I think
I
that-
wake up blow. I wake up. I feel like I weigh 600 pounds when I
feel like I'm a
after
Macy's
eat
Day
that.
float.
Oh
yeah.
my God, it's
Yeah.
so salty.
I'm gonna pass on the ham.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a Macy's Day float. I can't eat all that salt, though.
Fellas, I don't know how we went from sports tonight.
I know.
But I'll tell you what, it was
That's
it was
the
fun.
barbershop. That's the barbershop.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I reached out to Jack. I'm waiting for him to get back to me. I'll reschedule him. I'm sure he had something come up. You know,
Sure,
the man's not just sitting around waiting to do an OSP if something goes down. Although he confirmed us, you just never know what can happen.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time. It won't be the last time. So we hope everybody enjoyed what we talked about tonight. It was a lot of fun. We're coming back next week on Tuesday, and we're going to be talking with Dan Morgan Jr., who is basically he is a podcaster, beat writer type of guy for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So we're going to get a different perspective on the Pirates. Don't expect Chops to be on here because I don't. But, you know, if we can drag them on, we will. Hey, check us all out. You see our handles for everywhere we are on our social medias. You can find us anywhere. You can find the Original Sports Podcast at our webpage, originalsportspodcast.com. On there, there's a link to our link tree, which has everywhere we are, including YouTube, Twitch, you name it. You can find us. You'll find this show as well on Tuesday nights if you ever miss one from 7 to 8 on National Streaming Sports on Roku. Okay. Remember, if you are looking for something to do and you're a local person here in Frederick, Maryland, that Saturday at Rockwell Brewery, they're having their Kegs and Eggs party, and I have a pair of tickets. So just shoot me an email at originalsportspodcast@gmail.com. First person to do that, those tickets are yours. It starts at 10 a.m. They will have the Curly Brothers there playing. And it should be a really good time. Fellas, thanks for a fun night. That was a lot of fun just talking about that stuff.
Real quick, you talked about what's it called? Eggs and eggs?
Kegs and eggs.
Eggs and eggs. Okay. Well, you guys remember, well, you know, I don't know if you know or not. Well, when I first came down here, it's crazy how it ended up happening, but I ended up working at strip clubs and then doing bodyguard work and whatever have you. So I worked at Shut Down Now, but I worked at the Gold Club, the famous Gold Club here in Atlanta. I was in all the clubs of Magic City with the, you know, Lemon Pepper Lou, all of them. But first time I'm at the Gold Club, 2 a.m., it's like sirens go off, right? Sirens go off. The lights are flashing. Sirens are going off. I'm like, what is going on? And the dude tells me, that means we got 10 minutes to lock it down. I said, what do you mean? He said, we're locking it down. They're doing legs and eggs at the Gold Club. Now, Gold Club was upper echelon, high price girls, high price dances. They brought out an omelet bar and whatever. So for the next hour, it was, of course, at a strip club, high-end strip clubs, and they had chefs making you your omelets. And when I tell you it was sheer debauchery at another level, I was like, whoa. I mean, that's what I remember. One of the biggest things I remember even being here in Atlanta, when I first came down here and walked into a strip club, I was like, this is bananas. This here is crazy. Send my mail here. It was wild. But the strip club and some of the things I saw at strip clubs and go down, that was crazy. But that legs and eggs, the first time I experienced that, blew your boy's mind what was going on. And they locked the doors down because once you're in there, they weren't letting anybody else in for an hour. And so, yeah, it was Sheen. That's how they was act too. Get ready. Yeah, no, it was a trip.
Hey, thanks to everybody who helps out the OSP survive. Just a few more episodes, like I said, and then we're taking a couple of week break, and we'll be back with season 6, better than ever. Have a great night, everybody. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.